China has done it again. Just when India was cautiously trying to stabilize ties with Beijing after Galwan clash, border tensions and years of hostility, China has once again chosen Pakistan over India on Kashmir, publicly, officially. In a fresh joint statement with Pakistan, China openly backed Islamabad's position on Kashmir and called for the issue to be resolved under the framework of UN Security Council resolutions. That is not a routine diplomatic statement. That is a direct challenge to India's sovereignty. Because India's position has been consistent for decades. Kashmir is a bilateral matter between India and Pakistan under the Shimla Agreement and has no scope for third-party mediation. China knows this perfectly well, yet Beijing deliberately chose to cross that red line again. The big question is, should India trust China at all? Because this is not just about Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. This is also about Aksai Chin, the area Pakistan illegally handed over to China. And India's position is very clear. Kashmir was, is and always be an integral part of the country. For months, China has been talking about improving ties with India. Chinese officials keep speaking about cooperation, trade, dialogue, regional stability. But every single time Pakistan raises Kashmir, Beijing suddenly transforms into Islamabad's loudest international cheerleader. Every time a Pakistani Prime Minister visits Beijing, the joint statement includes a line on Kashmir every single time. It happened after Imran Khan's visit in 2022. It happened after Shehbaz Sharif's visit in November 2022. It happened again after his visit in June 2024. President Asif Ali Zardari's state visit to Beijing in February 2025 produced the same language. And now, in May 2026, it has happened again. Strategically, China still wants India boxed in, distracted and under pressure. And Kashmir remains Beijing's favorite weapon for doing that. It is not that China and Pakistan are closer. Beijing too has interest in illegally occupied Kashmir for its own reasons. China controls the Aksai Chin region of Ladakh, roughly 38,000 square kilometers of territory India claims as its own. And in 1963, Pakistan handed China an additional 5,180 square kilometer of the Saxgam Valley territory that is under Indian law, part of Jammu and Kashmir. New Delhi has never accepted that transfer. Beijing does not acknowledge that objection. Then China built the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor directly through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. What this means is that China is investing billions inside disputed Indian territory while simultaneously lecturing India about UN resolutions. Over the past 2 years, China and India have been working to normalize their relationship. In October 2024, Modi and Xi met at the BRICS summit in Kazan and agreed to restore patrolling arrangements along the line of actual control, reversing the military standoff that followed the Galwan clash of 2020, in which 24 Indian soldiers were killed. In 2025, high-level visits resumed. India's Defence and External Affairs Minister went to Beijing. China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi visited India in August 2025. Direct flights between the two countries resumed in October 2025 for the first time since 2020. Modi and Xi met again at the BRICS summit in Tianjin in September 2025. China has been telling India directly, repeatedly, that it wants stable ties, that it wants to move forward, and at the very same time, Beijing has been arming Pakistan to the teeth. China has supplied Pakistan with JF-17 fighter jets type 054 frigates and 8 Hangar-class submarines. It has provided the HQ-9 air defense system and PL-15 long-range missiles. By 2025, China accounted for over 80% of Pakistan's weapons imports. And during the Indo-Pakistan conflict, Operation Sindoor, in May last year, Pakistan's military was flying Chinese jets and firing Chinese weapons. China talks peace with India. China equips Pakistan for war with India. Those two things cannot be separated. They are two arms of the same strategy. India has already paid the price for trusting China's words. Remember Galwan? Even while diplomatic talks were happening, Chinese troops attacked Indian soldiers along the line of actual control in 2020. 20 Indian soldiers were killed, and since then, India has slowly realized a brutal truth. China says one thing and does another. The same pattern is visible again on Kashmir. Publicly, Beijing speaks about peace and partnership with India, but strategically it continues strengthening Pakistan at every level possible: military, economic, diplomatic and geopolitical. This latest betrayal also destroys whatever little trust remained between Delhi and Beijing. India has repeatedly shown restraint, but China keeps rewarding every Indian outreach with another strategic knife in the back. First Ladakh, then CPEC through POK, then shielding Pakistan internationally, and now once again, at some point, India must ask a hard question. Can China ever genuinely be trusted? Because Beijing's pattern is becoming impossible to ignore now. China does not want a strong India, it wants a manageable India, a distracted India, a regionally constrained India, and Pakistan remains central to that Chinese strategy. The question is not whether China is playing a double game. The question is how long the world and India continues to treat Beijing as a good faith partner in one conversation while watching it work against interest in another. And the joint statement from Beijing this week made that perfectly clear.
If they had a nuclear weapon,
the old rules are breaking. Alliances are shifting.
Apologize again to the victims of the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein.
Wars are redrawing maps. Oil routes can shake economies overnight. One election in America can impact markets in Mumbai.
no tax on tips.
One move by China can alter the balance in Asia. One conflict in West Asia can hit every Indian household. This is no longer a distant story. This is our story. Your story. Because for the first time in decades, India is not watching from the sidelines. India is rising. India is negotiating. India is balancing rivals. India is building military strength. India is shaping trade routes. India is becoming central to the new global order. And yet, most global news is still told through someone else's lens. Washington's lens, Beijing's lens, London's lens. But where is India's lens? Where is the platform that explains the world from our perspective? Welcome to India's Axis, a new destination for geopolitics, strategy and power seen through India's eyes. From Neighborhood Watch to the biggest global stories that matter to you. Why tensions in the Taiwan Strait matter to India. How one move by China can affect India's security. What turmoil in Pakistan means for regional stability. How Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Bhutan shape India's neighborhood. Why oil choke points can hit your wallet. How wars abroad can reshape India's security. This is not noise. This is not shouting. This is not recycled headlines. This is sharp, intelligent storytelling. Daily explainers, war room analysis, strategic conversations. Because news is everywhere, but perspective is rare, and in the age of confusion, clarity is power. Axis is for the audience that wants more than headlines. The axis of global power is shifting. India is at the center of that shift. It's time the world was explained accordingly, to understand the world through India's strategic lens. Subscribe now.